Welcome back, YouTube family. Heading to that pickup. Yesterday I did that Plummer, Idaho from Spokane. Today I'm doing the Spokane to Thompson Falls, Montana. The route that goes there, I think it's going to be a goat trail. The one that Google shows. Basically, you got to be really careful when you're going through mountains, because a long time ago, when I had the blue van, and you guys have never seen it, but a long time ago, I was trying to get from there back home and was trying to see what the shortest way would be. And Google Maps took me to a road that basically was full of snow. It was a dirt road, and I started sort of trying to go that way, but very quickly I found out that, you know, it's not getting better as you go down that way. And some guys were on snowmobiles that pulled up and said, "Hey man, what are you trying to do?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm trying to, you know, get to I-90 from here." And they're like, "Oh dude, this is a goat trail." And I'm like, "Goat trail?" They're like, "Well, we call it a goat trail, but it's more like a horse trail or snowmobile trail. So don't even attempt to go this way, because even if you go, you will not be able to turn around if you don't get stuck, and you are going to get stuck." So I was like, okay, well, turn around and headed on out. I don't remember exactly where I went. I think I went through Sandpoint, back that way. But basically, you could either go through Sandpoint, Idaho, or you could go through St. Regis and up and around. So I'm going to get loaded, and then I'm going to see what the least mileage is, because there's no way I want to get stuck in the mountains, because it is going in the mountains, through the mountains, and Google Maps did show. On the computer, it doesn't show that. And when my dispatch bid the load, they didn't know that that's how it was. I only know because I've driven through there. And so basically the mileage doesn't make sense. It's more miles versus going through that goat trail. We're not going to do goat trail, no way. Especially if it's got snow over there or whatever, and probably no cell service guaranteed, because even Wallace has horrible service. So no, I'm going to have to go around. We'll figure out which way it is. So inside delivery one more time. The load pays decently. They did pay me layover, so everything is all good. It does pay me yesterday paid a round trip, and then today pays a round trip as well. So yesterday's was $350, and today's is $450. So it's good all around. Yesterday's was like 50 miles there, 50 miles back, so 100-mile run, $350 pay. I call it good. Why wouldn't I? If we would have gotten for a driver, then it would have been the same for those kind of mileages for a short run. Driver would get around $300. We'd make $50 for dispatching on that one. As far as like today's, it's going to be like 170-ish miles, maybe 175. My guess, I don't know yet. And this one is going to be paying $450. And so close to 400 miles, $450. What are you going to do? That's how it is. That's the rates. It's not bad. But you got to understand, you guys are hearing these numbers that are like $1 a mile or a little over. You got to understand that long miles, the long ones, everybody wants the long loads. And not everybody can pay for the short runs. And usually if it's a short run, we quote it to the broker and their customer as it has to pay for a day. You know what I mean? A lot of you guys write in the comments like, "Oh, hey, no problem. I'm getting $1.50 a mile." Yeah, for 50 miles, 100 miles, 200 miles, yeah, you have to, because it has to compensate for a whole day of work. Because our drivers, the ones we work with, are OTR drivers, over-the-road drivers. And there's no way that anybody just wants to do some short mile run, get $1 or $1.20 a mile on it, on a short 200-mile run, and call it a good day. Maybe if you're sitting local, you could call it a good day, But then even sitting local, if you go 100 miles out of the way for $200, you call it, "Oh man, I made $2 a mile, and that's what I get paid." Yeah, you know what? You're going to make your, $200, But our driver that's going to clear 800 miles or 1,000 miles overnight, throughout the evening and overnight, and then deliver in the morning, has made 4 times the amount that you made. And then while he rests, we look for other loads for him, and he goes. Yes, those loads pay less because, you know, you don't get a short run every single day. You get what you can get, and not everybody can pay that, even in the good parts of US where there's tons of freight. So hopefully that gives you guys an answer. And like on this one, it's going to be 175 miles, pays $450. Yeah, it goes one way though, because I got to turn back around. So you got to understand that I'm almost 400, well, whatever, 370, 375 miles as a round trip per se. And I'm getting $450, but you got to understand your dispatch needs to make money too, because dispatchers don't just sit around on the computer and get paid hourly. Not with our work. Maybe somebody else's they do, but with Eagle they do not. I don't pay dispatchers hourly wages. They get paid commission. So the incentive is to book everybody and book as many loads as possible and get the highest rate as possible, because that's how dispatch makes the money. That's how the driver makes the money. Hopefully that makes sense. So when you guys are thinking, oh, Andre, you drive, because I've seen comments, I read them, I answer most of them, but a lot of them go, well, the boss drives for this amount of money, and you pay your drivers 85 cents a mile. On this one, I'm going to be, you got to understand that we're covering all expenses for the driver. All he has to do is pick up the load and deliver the load. There is no factoring being taken out of him. There's no quick pay percentages or whatever, or fees taken out. Driver gets paid weekly, every single week, and there's no takeouts, there's no dispatch fees. So when driver's making 85 cents a mile, that's clean money. From that, you deduct all your expenses on your end, but there's no dispatch fees from that like other companies charge. There's no any kind of fees. It's clean take-home money. You got to understand that. I have to pay dispatch. I have to pay for all the expenses in the office, load board expenses. Lights need to be on. Internet needs to be working. Computers always need to be updated, and they do break, and monitors and everything else. So, you know, office furniture, office chairs. I mean, everything. There's a lot of expenses in the background that, you know, have to be covered. So, yes, dispatch needs to be, you know, making money as well, but it ain't as much as some of you guys think that it is. Definitely not. So if you guys are thinking that I'm driving for $1 a mile and you're getting 85 cents, and whoa, factoring gets covered, plus dispatch needs to make something. In the end, there's your 85 cents a mile. Sometimes it's not even $1 a mile that, you know, broker pays us in the end. So you guys got to understand that everybody has to make money here, and a lot of drivers, not a lot, but some of you guys think that you're being taken, you know, somebody's taking advantage of you and this and that. Hey, there's plenty of people who do this and will do this and will gladly do this kind of work versus working in a factory or somewhere hourly, or, you know, waking up and going to work every single day and, you know, making a third of what drivers make. Right now, you're not going to get rich fast, but it is steady. Yeah, it could be slow at times. Yeah, you could have a bad week. Sometimes you can have a bad month, but in the end, nobody has a bad year. Nobody quits just because, you know, things are so bad with loads or they're not making enough money. People quit or change careers or whatever because of health reasons, family reasons, or they just can't stand the driving and sitting around. Either they can't handle the driving that needs to be done to be able to make this kind of money, to be able to, you know, gross $2,500 to $3,500 weekly. Some people just cannot do it. Some people are just not nighttime drivers. They can't handle. And some people just cannot handle the wait. If you can't handle waiting for a load, sometimes it's a day, sometimes it's 2 days. It just depends where you get stuck in, if you get stuck. Some drivers don't get stuck at all and they do great. So if you can't handle the wait, this job is definitely not for you either. You gotta be a warrior. In the end, you gotta be a warrior. You gotta be able to drive all night long if needed to be. Not every single night, nobody's gonna be making you do it, but if you want to have the results that make money and can lead you to be saving money and putting money away actually, and having good savings, guys, I'm not lying to you, but a lot of people have driven, made money, bought houses, bought property, bought their dream vehicles, pretty much, you know, had a goal, met the goal, and just left the business when they wanted to, because they've seen the country, they've made money, they bought homes, they bought land, they bought vehicles, their dreams came true, whatever they wanted to do, and then they just retired from this. So no matter how bad, some people say how bad it is and how this and that, if you're getting into this business with debt and you're buying, you know, if you got other debt, plus you're getting into more debt buying a vehicle, and then you got to have, you know, insane amount of money to just be able to cover your expenses, then no, this job is not for you. Because if you already are not financially kind of settled or in a decent financial situation, if things go south somewhere, like you have a breakdown or whatnot, you're definitely not going to make it. People freak out. They say, oh my God, I'm in debt. How is this possible? I need to be making this amount of money. I need to be home. I want to be home every weekend, and I want to make $3,000 a week. Well, that's not possible, guys. Semi-truck drivers drive for months at a time without coming home. And that's how they make their money. And that's how things work when you're working OTR. If you're just looking to be local and whatnot, of course, that doesn't pay. And it's just a waste of time. Here's what my stuff looks like today. It's a lot more. So some kind of either laptops or keyboards, or really, I don't know, something for the school out there. It says school district something on there, so that's what it is. Inside delivery. Let's go. You guys saw those orange corner things, right? On Amazon, I think you get like 8 or 10 of them. I don't know exactly how many you get for. I think they run around either $2 each or $1 each. I don't remember how much I paid for them. But anyways, I thought they were a little smaller, but they're huge, and it's kind of nice that they're huge. They're wide. So basically, when you're strapping down anything that's cardboard like that, if you look back what I just showed you, you'll see that there's orange plastic guards on the sides. You want to put those on, because when you're strapping in and you want it to hold without like cutting into the cardboard as you're driving, if you don't use those, you're going to be driving, bouncing around, going through the passes if you are. And, you know, if you tighten it up good, then it's going to cut through the cardboard. If you didn't tighten up good, then your pallet's going to be sliding all over the place and still rubbing up. So it's good to use those. I mean, it's something that's not required, but definitely makes you look a lot more professional when you're sending pictures to the broker. That way, when a broker's sending them to their customer, they'll want to keep using whoever you're working with, because, you know, you make it look good, you make it look right, and you are, you know, responsible for the cargo you haul as a driver. So it's a good idea to, you know, get it done right and make sure that you can do everything on your end that's possible to keep it from getting damaged or anything like that. Just an idea for you guys if you are wondering. Going through Sandpoint is 151 miles from delivery or from pickup location straight to the delivery location. So we're all going to go through there. Otherwise, it was showing like 110 or something like that. Somewhere around 110 or so. And no way, I'm not going through that goat trail. There's just some things you don't do if you can to avoid, especially wintertime, guys. If you run into a problem, slide off the road, get stuck in some slush, you're gonna need to get a pole out, and it's some kind of goat trail that nobody ever drives on that road, or even some kind of dirt road that just, you know, locals live on and stuff. You really want to be out there in the snow doing it that way? I don't, so I'm not doing it. That's just my suggestion. Anytime your GPS, always as well, set your, if you guys are using like a stationary GPS, not like Google Maps or anything, I use all kinds of things. So I normally use more than one to get me to where I'm going. That way I'm not wasting time showing up like some drivers show up and they're like, oh, I showed up and it's the wrong address. It brought me to the wrong place. Well, it's good to use more than one platform to, you know, figure out which route to take, first of all, and second of all, where you're going, because even Google Maps could be wrong, and definitely GPS is wrong more than Google Maps. Here's an Expediter right here. He's got a little window on the side. Here's how you tell who these people are, and I know exactly where he went too. I'm sure he delivered like windows or window frames. And yes, he's not a Washington plate, he's an Illinois plate. You guys see that? How do I know these things? You guys see box trucks? They got a sleeper inside the box, just like a semi-truck would, with the amenities if they created them for themselves. That's what this guy's doing. He's going somewhere else out of here, from Illinois. So yeah, my suggestion is set your stationary GPS to the fastest time, not shortest miles, but make sure you create fastest time. Make sure it's set to fastest time. That way, it's going to set you to highways. 99% of your driving is going to be through interstates instead of highways. Otherwise, you are going to be using highways. And using highways, it sucks. I mean, it'll take you through places where you shouldn't be. Through, especially out west, you don't want to be in the winter time driving through places where there's no civilization. This is not like East Coast where there's town and you know, vehicles and driving, and if you need help somewhere you can get help easy. Man, out here, especially in like Montana, Idaho, Oregon, some rural parts, you could be driving for 100, 150 miles, or like Nevada or really anywhere, and you're not going to see nothing but just maybe one or two vehicles, if even that sometimes. So it just depends, especially at night. If you're driving at night, you know, like we normally do, 90 to 99% of our driving is nighttime driving always. You don't want to be getting in trouble somewhere, like hit a deer or, God forbid, need help, like medical help, if anything. If you get hurt, fly off the road or something like that, that you don't have service or anybody driving by, you don't want to have that. So always check your map, make sure that you're actually driving through the interstate. Yes, if it's like a half an hour longer or something, sometimes I like going through I-90 or a decent interstate versus like a small road, one-way streets, or like I call it one lane highways. It's best to just be on the highway, especially in rural places like Montana, because a lot of wildlife out here, and you don't want to be dodging wildlife in the snow or really any time at night in Montana. We've had a lot of drivers hit deer, hit moose, all kinds of things in Montana. So I've personally hit deer, so you want to avoid that. And the best way to avoid it is actually being on the main interstate. That way you can get help if you do need it, and people can see you. If you flew off the road somewhere out in Montana on some one-lane highway, nobody's gonna even see you driving by. God forbid you like flipped over or laid down on your side or really anything like that. That's disaster. So you got to watch out for yourself, because nobody else is going to watch out for you guys. You got to be prepared and, you know, make sure you're doing it the right way. Lots of times I've asked drivers, I'm like, why did you take that route? Why did you go that way? Oh, I don't know. You know, I just punched in the address and whatever GPS gave me. Or they were trying to avoid a snowstorm, or they were trying to avoid weather, rain or fog or something like that, you know. Who cares? If you're on the main highway, you'll be fine, because you can follow other vehicles. That highway gets cleaned if it's snow a lot quicker, sooner, and better than any highway will. So just because you're trying to avoid something doesn't mean your highway is going to be better. You're going to waste a lot more time. There's less fuel stations, less help if you ever need help. God forbid you break down and you got to sit there all night. You're going to freeze to death if anything. You know, you don't want none of that. Trust me, you don't. But if you guys have your own opinions about this, you let me know. If you'd rather save yourself 20, 30, 50 miles and have taken those risks, have been in trouble, let other people know in the comments as well. Here's the difference, 145 miles. I'm not looking at the miles more than the time it takes to go through the right way, the normal way, good road. 2 hours 23 minutes. Well, I'm sorry, 2 hours 43 minutes. And then the cheesy way through the goat trail is 2 hours 23 minutes. So basically 20-minute difference, and the mileage is like what, 40 miles, 45 miles more, 45 miles more, 20 minutes longer, but you're going to be driving on a good road where there is help if you need it, where there's phone service, and you don't have to risk going through some dirt road and you don't know if you're going to get stuck or not. If there's ice there, if there's slush there, if there's a ton of snow there somewhere that didn't get cleaned up and all that, or there's no place to turn around if you get yourself in trouble. So yeah, always do your little homework when you're going somewhere, because you want to make sure that you're taking a decent route, especially out west, like I said, and especially out in the mountains. Same thing with like Wyoming, same thing with like Colorado. Make sure that you guys know what you're doing.
My thoughts have never been clearer. I see what you're doing to me now. They lie, they steal, they fool us.
Lake Pend Oreille, ladies and gents. Lake Pend Oreille. One beautiful place in the summertime. They've got one big resort over there with the copper roofs. I swam by there. That was our last day on the boat in the season. Was I think early October, was it, or was it late September? Anyway, early October, late September. There was really good warm days. I think it's still 87 degrees out. So we came out here and we were, swimming and swim by that place. It looks really nice, like maybe stars, or I don't know, famous people, maybe rich people, they hang out over there. You could just tell by the people, who they are. But this is a one beautiful place in the summertime. They did drain the water because they need to make room for the, melting snow, rain, all that stuff. So some water did get drained already. But snow in the mountains, and this is just beautiful, beautiful romance. You're heading to a place in the wilderness. You don't know exactly how the weather will be, what you're going to be dealing with next, and that's the best part of the job, because it's always different.
With you by my side, I'm not worried.
Look at this beauty. Highway 200 from Sandpoint going all the way to past St. Regis, and this goes all the way to pretty much almost to Kalispell-ish area. Look how beautiful this place is. That water's that aqua color. If I'd have time, I'd be over there throwing my pole in the water. But this thing has to deliver direct by 3 p.m. because the school supposedly will close, or whatever the case is. This actually might not even be going to a school. It might be going to like one of their little warehouses or something else. But the school is kind of on the grounds as well. There's like an elementary school out there. Beautiful snow in the mountains. This is going to get real nice and pretty once the snow hits the ground here at ground level. I don't get to travel this exact Highway 200 from here. I've done it from like St. Regis and over, and I've done it from like like Missoula side and over and stuff like that. But this way, not too many times I've gone through here. I've gone over the years, I have, but lately it's been forever ago. So yeah, this is all beautiful and refreshing to me. Welcome to Thompson Falls. Here we go. This is it. Man, I haven't been here in forever. I'm serious. It's been a long time. Been a long, long time.
In a quarter mile, turn left toward Jefferson Street North.
Yep, almost there. And nothing much to the town. It's just, you know, old western little town with a river going through it. I don't know why they call it Thompson Falls. Maybe there's a couple little falls here, or I don't know what the reason is, but it's called Thompson Falls. Super
Take
tiny.
the next left onto Cedar Street.
All right, we're almost there. Let's see what the school is all about.
In 800 feet, turn right onto West Haley Avenue.
Here's the school. The actual, I don't know where. Haley Avenue. Shows me that I should be in the second building. Not this one, but the other one. I don't know. This looks
Turn
like
left, then your destination will be on the left.
if this is the school, then this is a kind of like the old village schools maybe we used to go to. I'm not sure. Back in the day. Okay, I'm gonna call my contact, figure out where I need to be to unload this. Okay, well, I was pulling up and the guy was watching at me and kept walking that way. He said he's coming by with a pallet jack, so we shall see what he wants to do. If he wants to just pick it up and set it on the side, or I don't know what, but supposedly he's coming with a pallet jack, so I told him I've got a hand truck. He's like, I'll be right there, I'll make it easy for you. So it is what it is. Be empty soon and on my way home. By the time I get home, it's already 1:11 here this time. If I leave say by like 1:30 from here, maybe like 4:30. Still got to do Christmas decorations outside, Christmas lights. My kids are waiting. Look at Montana deer. They're not even scared. You want to come inside? Come here. It's warm in here. Yeah, doesn't want to go inside, but anyways, all unloaded, all done. Look at this. More deer right here. What are they eating in this yard? They sure love this yard. Look at this. Hi, guys. I love that yard. Thompson Falls for you guys. If you haven't seen it before, there it was, and I kind of saw myself too why they call it Thompson Falls, because it's got a little bit of a falls area over there. I was a little bit skeptical flying the whole drone out through there. It's a little guy. I mean, it does okay, but in the cold temperature like it is, in the freezings, it's honestly, the battery dies like way faster than you would ever imagine. So kind of got to be careful with it. It is what it is. You guys get to see it. That's awesome. A little bit of a, what do you call it, Discovery Channel. A couple minutes for you guys of that up above footage, but yeah, they got snow up in the mountains. Beautiful area out here. It's a town right in between the hills, between one set of mountains and another set of mountains and the river, and they're just right on the river. So load turned out to be easy. We basically just offloaded it together with the guy. Well, mostly me, but he came out there with a pallet jack and he was like, oh, how are we gonna do this? And it was like 350 pounds or something like that. So I did the lifting, the pulling, and the putting it on this pallet jack and setting it down and all that kind of stuff. So it was all good. He should be happy. It got done the way it needed to get done. So they're happy. They got their Chromebooks for the children, and I'm happy to contribute. Well, and of course it does pay me, and it has to be worthwhile. But you know what I mean. They tax us to death. So once in a while, the school system can pay me as well, or whoever pays for it. Maybe Dell pays for it, but it came from Dell. But hey, either way, if it is the school, then you know what? I get taxed and my children don't even go to school, and I get taxed a lot for property taxes in my area. And like I said, I pay my tabs, I don't use their water, I pay for my electricity, and what else am I paying for? You know what I mean? I don't pay for anything else. The roads we drive on goes for the tabs, and the school system, yeah, the school system charges me. They supposedly charge it for the schools, but hey, my children don't even go there. So a lot of those people that say, well, your kids go to school, my kids are online school. That's my take on it, but hey, it is what it is. There's no way out. You pay for everything, and there's nothing free. Nothing free. Even if it says free, there's still something behind it, and it's never really free. God bless you guys. Take care. We'll see each other next time on another load. Don't know when that will be. Winter's here, so things are a lot slower in the winter time, especially in our neck of the woods as well, because a lot less resorts are open, a lot less things going on, a lot less deliveries to places where it's seasonal and all that kind of stuff. But then there is seasonal. People do come out here and to their homes and whatever for the winter time as well. So I just know that over the 10 years, the winter time is slow in our neck of the woods. It's really slow, but it's okay. I get to sit at home, enjoy family, and maybe a little less videos for you, maybe the same, I'm not sure, but that's kind of how it is. I have no problem with that. I still get to work in the office. I got plenty of paperwork and internal work, behind the scenes work that nobody else sees, so it's all good. You know what I mean? I'm not hurting for work. That's definitely not the case. You guys see how Montana people live? Some people have decent homes, some people are just kind of, I wonder how they survive. One of those things. Later. If you haven't liked and subscribed, I would appreciate that. That's the biggest help you can give to the channel.